All right, hello everyone, and welcome back. Johnny here, and I want to thank you for uh, joining us here uh, with Stan here on the video. And on this video, I'm going to be actually talking about special accommodations specifically. I actually tried to do this before, and I was trying to read at the same time of talking, and that just doesn't work. Trying to listen to a screen reader at the same time that you're trying to read just doesn't work. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to just kind of look at stuff as I'm talking to you about it. So let me go back up to where I was. I want to. Okay. Let me get up where I need to be. So here's where I'm going to start it. Determination of accommodations. Say that 5 times real fast. Every single student is different. Okay. Let's say you are going to college and you and someone else, you both are receiving special accommodations. And that person says, well, this is what I'm doing in class and I'm using this to complete my assignments. And you're like, well, wait a minute. How come you get to do that and I don't? Now, I really don't see a situation where that would happen, but I do want to bring it up. You have to be specific about your accommodations. Now, the thing to remember is when you sign up for special accommodations for the very first time, you're going to go through, you're going to communicate with your college and the faculty there that are handling the special accommodations, and possibly even vocational services. If you're signed up with them, you're going to need to communicate with them as well. And of course, they're going to communicate with your college as well. And actually, for those that are signed up with vocational services, it's probably a good thing because it's going to help you. If you need a computer or if there's things you need while going through college, they can get it for you, and you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to pay for stuff or how you're going to get something done. You can go through college without it, but it will definitely help you going through college. I know that from personal experience. Okay. So back to what I was saying is, once you get signed up and you go to college, and maybe, again, I speak about this a little bit in the previous video, but I'll go ahead and cover it again. When you start college and you register for college, the first thing that you need to do right after you register, and let your advisor know as well, because you'll have spoke with your advisor, but you need to let your advisor know that you need the special accommodation so they can guide you in the direction you need to go to get connected with that office at whichever Ivytech that you might be attending. You need to get that done right after you register, okay? You might already have the papers that you need for them, but they're going to need proof of your disability and information about your disability, so that whoever at whichever Ivytech you might be going to, whoever's in charge of that, they can help you out, better by knowing kind of what you need, and they're going to kind of look out for you and make sure things are going good. I'm sure later on you'll find other videos where I talk about that. So make sure you just get that done first. You might have to go to your doctor. You might have to do a few things. Just do it. Don't say, oh, well, I don't want to mess with it. I'll just go ahead and do it myself. If I went through college without special accommodations, I'm going to tell you right now, I would fail. I would fail. Because those accommodations, it's the key. The key point to success is being able to use those special accommodations so that you can do your work successfully. So please don't ignore that fact, and don't ignore that you can use special accommodations. There's nothing embarrassing about it. There's nothing to be humiliated about. And it's something that you don't even have to share with other people if you're embarrassed talking about it, or if you're uncomfortable talking about it. Nobody knows that you are receiving those accommodations in your class. Nobody knows that. The only people that know that, you, your instructor, and whoever's in charge of the special accommodations at your college, at the Ivytech that you're going to. And I promise you, they're not going to make that, they're not going to come in class and say, hey, Billy over there's got special accommodations, ha ha. It's not going to happen, okay? Let me just take a look here. Here's the other thing that, like I was saying, accommodations, they are determined on individual basis. You had to provide, whatever it is that you need. You got to provide the appropriate verification of the disabilities which you need special accommodations for. Okay, so remember that. And you got to be willing to discuss this with school, with your, again, if you got vocational services, with them. Make sure you discuss everything. And even if there's something that helps you, and let's say that it's not required by the special accommodation laws on the legal side of it, it doesn't mean that the instructor's not going to work with you. Okay? And I'm going to give you a good example here, because it doesn't bother me one bit to talk about it. If I have an assignment, and let's say I got to do a paper on a 40-page, a chapter that's 40 pages, I've had to discuss things with my instructor to work with me on the due date. I've had to do that because of me using a screen reader. Now, you might not use a screen reader. You very well might, just magnify your work and you're fine. But just because it's not something that special accommodations has to follow and the instructor has to follow it, just because they don't have to follow it doesn't mean you cannot discuss that and let them know. Again, write a letter to your instructors. Tell them about you and the accommodations and what works for you the best. Now, this is something that me and the advisor of our group stand, me and her had came up with this for me. Because when I start class, I want to be ready. And you need to be ready. You don't need to worry about the stress of not fully sure about how you're going to do something, or if the instructor is going to work with you or what the instructor's like about, you know, uh, working with people with special accommodations. They're already going to know. Set up that meeting and talk with them so that they can understand you. I mean, going to someone face to face is a lot better than just sending the letter. So what I do is I send the letter and I also request a meeting before class starts, or I try to anyways. It might not always work that way, but I promise you, if you do that, you will feel much better. You will do better in your class because your instructor, they will understand your situation. A good example of that is I took a psychology class, an introduction to psychology. Before I even started that class, I met with the instructor. I also sent him a letter, but I also met with them. And they was really happy about me doing that because it allowed them to meet me and to really get a perspective on how I was going to do in class and what works and what doesn't. If I wouldn't have done that, they would have never knew. You know, the instructor does stuff on the board all the time in the classroom. And, you know, like he said, if you'd have never met with me and told me this, I would have just went in, done the stuff on the board, expecting that you could see it all. But because I did that, he was able to communicate what he was doing on the board. When he was writing something, he was speaking it. So that makes a big difference. There's a whole lot of information on here that might help you. So I'm going to suggest that you click on the link down below and you can download this PDF file that has just a lot of good information about special accommodations. You're going to see all the rules and the policies and, you know, what you can and can't do. Let me see if I can just find something here real quick. Okay, it's not there. Yeah, so it's going to talk about your doctor, you know, and the papers you're going to need. And also it talked about financial aid. So right here where I was talking about the vocational services, it says students with disabilities are VRS clients who are training or retraining so they may successfully enter the workplace. Students should be encouraged to apply to VRS, but are not required to do so. DSS providers should emphasize the benefits of working with VRS. It says this agency can supply funding for unmet needs as well as sign language interpreters, tutoring, note-taking assistance, assistive equipment, and etc. Now, see what I'm talking about with that? It can really help you. Now, it does say here, students are required to apply for financial aid if they hope to become VRS clients. Now, I don't know much about why it is that you're required to apply for the financial aid, but in most cases, you're going to need that financial aid. Unless you come from, you know, and you're really rich and I don't know, but you're going to need that anyways. And it says right here, maintaining a positive relationship with VRS is critical. And that's true. It says it's possible some expenses can be shared, negotiated with VRS. Okay, so again, it says it is possible some expenses can be shared / negotiated with VRS. And they're going to know, they're going to know all this. Unless you got a brand new VRS counselor, you know, they're going to know all this stuff. Informing VRS counselors of new courses / fields of study, providing them with course schedules, inviting them to your campus, and facilitating meetings can help both VRS and Ivytech Community College of Indiana. By demonstrating assistive equipment and possible services, DSS providers can build good will with this agency and others. Vocational rehabilitation process guidelines for individuals may be self-referred, or the referral may be made by the family, physicians, or medical institutions, educational institutions, or others by calling, writing, or visiting any VRS office. And that's all I'm going to read. I don't want to torture you no more. But there's a lot of good information, you guys. There's just a lot of good stuff here. Let me talk to you about my experience real quick with not using VRS. Now I'm in the process of getting things lined up to where I will be using them, but I have done this on my own, and I've gotten through it. But if I would have had them, I could have had a tutor from the start. And it's not bad if you need a tutor. It doesn't mean that you're dumb or you don't know how to read or you don't know how to study. It means that they're going to help you to make sure that you get the information that you need, that you learn what you need to learn. Okay? I'm very happy with where I am, and I'm very happy with the way that I've been treated since I've started Ivytech. And honestly, to me, it's not like it's when I walk in the doors at the location I go to, it's not like walking into a business or a school. To me, it's walking in somewhere where it feels like family and friends, because everybody is close to each other, well connected, and the respect is just, it's flawless. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of long. Again, I've got the link down below. You can go ahead and get that if you know you want to go and read through all that. There's a lot. I covered maybe 10%, but I just wanted to give you a better idea of the special accommodations and the policies at Ivytech. And I'm not speaking for Ivytech. I want to say that as well. This is just something that I wanted to do to help people. And, you know, with being in the group stand, you know, this is what we do anyway. So I'm like, you know what? let's do this as well. So here I am. For anyone else or you, if you're interested in more information about Stand, go ahead and email me. I'd be glad to send you information. You can also let me know if you want to talk on the phone or something, and I'd be glad to give you a call. But go ahead and just send us an email. The email's down below as well. You're going to see the link to that PDF file, and below that, you're going to see the email address. So until next time, if you are thinking about going to college, I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to do it with Ivytech, especially, because you will succeed.